checked. You know, I mean, they got to use a speculum. They've got to take a sample, that type of thing, check for tears, blah, 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 right? I mean, makes sense. And so what they had said to me is like, well, we don't do that here. And I'm like, but you're a gynecologist office. Why wouldn't you? You know, it's so hard to find like a gynecologist that can like even work with me.
Bro, you tripping.
Hi, I'm Lady Lexi. This video that you just saw in the intro is about me. Today we're going to talk about that video. I live stream on Twitch every single day from Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever we decide to get off. You can find me at twitch.tv/justagirllexi. Let's talk about this video. So this guy brings up a gynecologist, what a gynecologist is. A gynecologist is a doctor who specializes in female reproductive health. The uterus, the fallopian tubes, ovaries, anyone with breasts, etc. Basically, anyone with female organs may see a gynecologist. Well, let's talk about why a trans person needs to see a gynecologist, shall we? So why does a trans woman go to a gynecologist? Let's start here with this whole fiasco of a video with clearly a gentleman who has no idea what it is a trans woman is. A transgender woman is a woman who is assigned male at birth. I was assigned male at birth. Does someone without a uterus or a cervix still need to go and get gynecological care? Yeah, we do, and here's why. A trans woman who's had reconstructive genital surgery, commonly known and referred to as bottom surgery, will still need gynecological care for her new vulva and vagina. And your OBGYN can also prescribe and monitor estrogen and progesterone, hormone replacement therapy. She also tests for STIs and screens for intimate partner violence. In addition to that, anyone with breast tissue, as you guys notice, I have breast tissue, is going to need regular cancer screenings and a mammogram as well. Sometimes trans women undergoing gender-affirming therapy, particularly those on estrogen and progesterone, can experience PMS-like symptoms due to increased estrogen levels. And now, while I don't actually menstruate, and I don't bleed, we can still benefit from consulting the OBGYN about my symptoms that I do have. And some of those symptoms include irritability, headaches, sore breast, bitchiness. We all know about bitchiness, right? Let's move on. Here's another reason why I have to go see a gynecologist. Because this is actually a risk. While it's a rare risk, it is something that they do screen for. And that's that sample I was talking about that they take, using a speculum inside of my vagina, because they check for squamous carcinoma of a neovagina. They are rare cases, but they do happen. But they also have to test for STIs and many other things. So let's go on, shall we?
That's why they go to a gynecologist. Now let's listen to Tony get mad because a gynecologist can't do nothing with his butthole.
Okay, let's talk about this. First off, my name is Lexi. That is my legal name. That's what my birth certificate says, my license, my passport, and all that stuff. I'm definitely not Tony the Tiger. Now, should I need to have my butthole checked, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to a proctologist for that. I'm pretty sure I don't need a gynecologist. But I don't know. That's just me. Maybe he knows something that I don't know.
Let's watch this. Roll the clip.
An appointment because I need to be checked.
Hold on, bro. Let me just say this. Bro, you can at least try. He ain't even trying, bro. The bro look like a linebacker. Voice sound like my uncle after smoking cigarettes for 20 years. Come on. All right.
Okay, look. Let's talk about my appearance, shall we? You're here to talk about a gynecologist video. That's the integrity you have as a man. You have to make fun of my voice and my shoulders. I'm 5'5.5 pounds. And yeah, so I got a deep voice. So doesn't Brittany Grenier. What's your point, dude? I'm married. I'm happy. Why does my voice make a difference to anybody? Clearly it makes a difference to you, but I'm not looking to change my voice. And I'm not looking to try. For who? You? I don't need to try for him. I don't need to meet your societal standards. I meet my societal standards. That's part of being happy. I'm not sure if you know what happy is because you're sitting here tearing me up. And just for the record, let's talk about my teeth for a minute. You know nothing about me. You don't know why my teeth are the way they are. You don't know whether or not I'm getting fixed. I'm actually supposed to go to Costa Rica in October to get them fixed, but of course you don't know that. You don't know that because, well, you haven't taken the time to get to know me because you wanted to rip up a video without me, without even taking 5 seconds to talk about me. I'm not sure there's any integrity about talking about somebody, not even putting my name up there and asking me personally about any of this. I'm not sure there's any integrity in anything like that whatsoever. What kind of man chews somebody up but doesn't have the gonads to face him on his own? I don't know, dude. Come at me like a man. You're acting like me, a girl. So I think maybe you should come at me. So let's talk about my appearance. Yep, it's not your typical woman or female appearance, but you know what? I'm married, I'm happy, and I don't need to meet up with anybody. I don't need to meet anybody's standards. I don't need to meet yours. I don't need to meet anybody's other than my wife's, my family's, and well, last I checked, they're pretty happy with me. And well, I do have a successful stream on Twitch. You obviously know that because you've seen me, but yet you don't have the cojones to come face me. Just want to throw that out there. Anyway, moving on.
And you look like a man, you ain't even trying. And you have the ball and chain. Like,
if I had a ball and chain, why would I need a gynecologist? Just out of curiosity. If I had a ball and chain, I'd go to a urologist, not a gynecologist. So if I was looking for a gynecologist, if I had a penis, don't you think that's a little weird? Because I think it's a little weird. I mean, I know that I don't need one. But even if I still had my ball and chain, which I don't, there are trans women that seek help from a gyno for HRT, for many different things. And that doesn't make them any less of a woman, despite your right-wing hateful views. And who cares? Again, back to my appearance. You want to talk about being outraged that I want to go see a gynecologist because I have a vulva and a vagina, but you want to pick apart my appearance. So which is it? What are we doing the video about? Are we doing it about my appearance, my voice, my teeth? Or are we doing it about me seeing a gynecologist? Buddy, you're all over the place. My God.
the female anatomy and learn how to deal and focus on what women need. They have doctors for men to deal with your prostate and the tearing of your butt because you out there doing stuff you ain't supposed to be doing.
Maybe I'm not the one that needs to learn anatomy. Just saying. I mean, again, let me repeat myself again. If I had twig and berries, ball and chain, whatever you want to call it, how about we use big boy words like penis and testicles? We'll use big boy words because I'm a big girl and I know how to use all the big words. So maybe you need to learn anatomy. Why would I go to a gynecologist to check, again, my butthole? If I was going to check my anus, I would go to, again, a proctologist. But clearly, you think that somebody who uses their, quote, anus shouldn't be doing that. I'm thinking maybe you should. You'd be a whole lot happier, I absolutely assure you. But maybe I'm not the one that needs to learn anatomy. And obviously, there are gynecologists that are checked for trans women. That's why I have a gynecologist that I have recently found that I'm going to. That's why I had a gynecologist remove some inclusion cysts from my surgery that I ended up with last year. There are gynecologists that are trained in this. But I just don't think that you know that because, well, I think you need to learn anatomy. Because I'm not entirely sure that anybody needs to have their butthole checked at the gynecologist. Are you okay, buddy? Like, are you okay? Do we need to take you back to school? And as far as my prostate goes, let's talk about that, shall we? You probably don't know that my prostate is now my G-spot because you can no longer check it rectally. Now it has to be checked vaginally. Because you see, the way it works is prostate, vaginal shaft, rectum. That is how that works. But of course, I don't expect you to understand that because you don't know anything about trans people. You just want to tear me apart like you know something. But realistically, dude, you don't know jack shit. All right, we're paused. Or we're not. Okay, I guess we weren't paused, but we're paused now. I guess you need to learn anatomy, and I need to learn how to pause the video when I'm reacting to yours. So, just for the record, I want to keep this straight that this is where I went for surgery. I went all the way to Thailand. And so going back to the original surgeon, is just not going to be an option for me. But I'm thinking that maybe this guy needs to go see a surgeon, maybe get a different attitude, and maybe go ask a real doctor instead of a washed out cop about anatomy. I mean, I'm just saying, Officer Tatum isn't an officer anymore. Why aren't you an officer? I'm just curious. Not that it's any of my business, but I am drastically curious why you went from being an officer to being on YouTube. Now, granted, you probably had your own reasons, which is probably the same reasons I had for streaming, because you love to talk to people, but I don't think you like people. But I'm not entirely sure. To me, you're just looking for views because you're washed up. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
These people are delusional. I would support you if you weren't delusional. Hey, you want to do your thing, man? Go get your man stuff checked. We get what you're trying to do, bro, but your health.
Okay, honey, I'm not mad. I'm certainly not delusional. But again, if I was going to have male stuff, if I still had my male junk, again, I've got to ask you, dude, why would I go see a gynecologist, and why would I want a speculum? Why would I want somebody to use that on me? This isn't about affirming my gender. This isn't like some fetish. This isn't something to make me feel like a woman. This is something that needs to be done because I'm a post-op trans woman that needs post-op gynecological care. Maybe I need to remind you again why we go to gynecological care. Let me pull that up. Once again, in case you forgot why we go to a gynecologist throughout all of this video, a transgender woman who was assigned male at birth, again, that was me. Genetically, I am a male. Yes, I have never denied that. But I am a trans woman that has reconstructive genital surgery, which requires a gynecologist to check for certain things, i.e. STIs, signs of tears, because, well, I'm sorry to say it, fellas, I like it rough. So there might be a little bit of tearing there. I don't know what to tell you. Cis women tear during pregnancy. Cis women most absolutely can tear with a man that is too big. There are many things that can happen and cause tearing in a female vagina. And the fact that some of you out there don't know that tells me that you are definitely goody two-shoes, because this girl likes it rough. I don't know what to tell you. But once again, look, we have these reasons. Pause to read. And we have this reason. This is the most important reason right here. Besides the fact that when you have a neovagina, you have flora, you have fauna. It literally creates its own little ecosystem down there. But a lot of you don't know about that because unfortunately you are just not educated in transgender health. And it's unfortunate that you're not educated in transgender health because there is so many things out there that everybody proceeds to talk about that nobody knows anything about. My vulva, my vagina, all of these things, they don't look any different than any other woman out there. If you looked at my vagina or a vulva, or you looked at somebody else's vagina or vulva, you're not going to know the difference. You're not going to know the difference. Somebody needs to get an education. The fact that you call it an open wound that I need to see a wound care doctor, are you kidding me? Who would do that to themselves? Who would literally put a thing on their body that goes from functioning to not functioning to where they need to constantly see a wound care doctor? Does that not sound as ridiculous to me as it does to you? Because to me, it sounds completely absurd. You guys need a serious education in transgender health, because a lot of you out there are talking about things you, honest to God, legitimately, honestly, and respectively know nothing about. And you sound ignorant as hell, and you shouldn't be talking about it. You all, again, I'm going to remind all of you, twitch.tv/JustAGirlLexi. You can come see me, and I will be happy to educate any one of you about transgender health. This is what I do. Anyway, moving on.
Be honest. That's all I'm saying. Be honest. I'm not trying to be mad at this person or whatever, because I know they're struggling from a mental illness, but just be honest, bro.
Okay, let's get the stigma out of the way. Being trans is not a mental illness. And I'm going to read it right from the American Psychiatric Association DSM-5 text revision. And as you see, the highlighted section that I have highlighted says diverse gender expressions, much like diverse gender identities, are not indications of a mental disorder. However, people like yourself, mister, are causing people like myself to have mental distress. It's not a mental disorder to have or be trans. It's the societal pressure of people like you putting me down, or people out in society, or family rejection, loss of jobs, friends, family. These things cause mental distress, depression, anxiety, unfortunately, unaliving tendencies, and things like that. It's because people like you rag on people like me because people like you refuse to understand and actually be educated about my community. So instead, things that you don't know about, you mock, or you put down, or you discriminate, or you hate against. Or even worse, you put out a whole bunch of this misinformation that you're putting out right now. To me, that's sad. You know, my grandfather once said to me, if you don't know about something, make sure you research it, because when you talk about it, you don't want to sound stupid. Just a thought. But for the record, being trans is not a mental illness. If you don't believe me, go read it yourself. I will put links in the descriptions. So I hope today you all learned something. But let's keep moving on, shall we?
Oh, you a man. This is the thing that I don't understand about trans people, some of them. Just understand that you are a man and you want to present as a woman. You're not a woman. You're a man presenting as a woman. You already call yourself trans. What does that mean? That means you're a man, but you're trying to represent yourself as a woman. Why can't that you won't even call yourself a woman? You call yourself a trans woman.
All right, so you saw that video. Well, here's the thing. I can call myself a woman because I am a woman. Regardless of what you believe, what your science believes, and your science is junk, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. There's actual real science out there. Google is free, and clearly you know how to use it for your narrative, but I know how to use it for the right narrative, right? So I am not a man. Every document I own says that I am a female. So I am definitely not a man. So no, I don't want to be a man that presents as a woman. I am a woman who dresses and acts like a woman. Now, that being said, I just want to be clear that there is no insurance that paid for anything of mine. My breasts are mine. My bottom surgery was paid for by me, not by any insurance. I don't live in Canada. I live in the fucking United States. So there's no socialized medicine here. So yeah, socialized medicine may be absolutely wonderful, but it's not wonderful for me because I don't have it. I really don't know what to tell you there. But everything I have, I bought and I paid for all on my own. I just want to throw that out there, just in case you didn't know that I am, in fact, paying for my own stuff, and I am, in fact, a woman, regardless of what you believe. My wife introduces me as her wife, and I introduce her as my wife. Not her trans wife, not my cis wife, just wife and wife. On my marriage license, it says female and female. Just because you don't agree with it or you don't understand it, which you clearly already said you don't understand trans, right in your own words says, I don't understand trans, but okay, well, then maybe you shouldn't talk about it. Because once again, Mr. Officer, you don't know anything about it. And honestly, you sound stupid. So with the ending of this video, and I'm going to go on my little final thought. With the ending of this video, you took apart a 30-second clip that you took completely out of context, You weren't there for the first part. You weren't there for the second part. I wasn't rejected by a gynecologist. I had called the gynecologist looking for an appointment. I called the gynecologist looking for an appointment, and they said, well, we don't deal with trans patients here. And they referred me to someone else who wasn't a gynecologist, but they still referred me to someone else because they didn't know. Because their specific people in their office weren't trained in trans healthcare. And so, yeah, I felt a little bit discriminated against. It was what it was. I don't have any intentions of suing anyone. I don't have any intentions of going on about it. But my whole point of that discussion that was taken completely out of context was the fact that trans healthcare is very, very hard to find. The fact that there isn't enough healthcare out there for trans people. The fact that post-op and pre-op trans people both need care. The fact that hormone replacement therapy is not that easy to come by. The fact that bottom surgery is not that easy to come by and not really available by all that many insurances here in the United States. My whole point of that conversation is that there is a lack of trans health care. That we don't have enough medical care here in this country. And the fact that a lot of gynecologists should know about trans women. And from my understanding, according to the American Society of Gynecologists, they're supposed to be learning about this stuff currently. They're teaching this type of stuff in school. But I do and did end up with a gynecologist appointment from a gynecologist at a fertility center that deals with trans patients as well. To constantly tell me that I need to get my man parts checked and that I need to go to a urologist or I need to go back where I got my surgery or I need to do this or do that, that shows the amount of education that you all have out there that is absolutely none. You have none whatsoever. A post-op vagioplasty or a post-op vagina functions a lot different than a lot of you people would understand. I can use mine regular just like everybody else can. I can reach climax just like everyone else can. I can be intimate with my partner just like everyone else can. It requires regular maintenance just like yours. I don't have a uterus. I do not have a cervix. I do not have ovaries, and I do not have a fallopian tube. But there are many women out there that go and have hysterectomies and they don't have any of that stuff either. But yet they still have to go to the gynecologist to be checked for STIs or certain cancers or this, that, and the other. Well, it's no different for a post-op trans women. Just because you think it's an inverted penis tells me that nobody understands. You don't understand what it looks like, how it functions, or the fact that it even has its own ecosystem. I would say the best way to get an education about anything like this is to not pick apart a 30-second video that, again, you had no context of, but to actually get an education and come and ask a trans person. Or maybe you could have actually picked up the phone and called a reputable gynecologist, and they might have been able to answer your questions. But you notice during this entire video, the only thing I did was pick apart your attitude and your washed-up career. But I sure as shit didn't pick apart your looks. I didn't pick apart anybody's looks, because I got to tell you, everybody who seemed to come down on me are not the greatest looking people in the world either. But I don't have a need to pick them apart. I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. I don't look like Barbie, and many people don't. I struggled throughout my life in order to identify and be who I want to be, and it has been a lifetime of fight to get there. And the one thing that everybody forgets about trans people is the fact that we are human beings. The fact that a lot of us have families, friends, jobs, bills, responsibilities, dreams, and aspirations. I have a wife and a family, and I live my life just like everybody else. Being trans is the least that I even worry about. Being trans isn't part of my daily life. It just happens to be part of me. But it sure as shit does not define me. I don't live my life going around talking about the fact that I'm trans. Oh my God, I'm trans. Oh my God, I'm trans. It's not like that. I live my life like a normal person, and being trans doesn't even come into the factor other than education. I invite everybody that sees this video that if you really want to know about a trans person and you really want to get an education, and I invite any one of these creators out there that have seen me, that want to know, somebody like yourself, Mr. Tatum, I invite you to come to my stream. I will give you a subscription just so that you can ask the right questions. My name is Lexi, and you can find me at twitch.tv/JustAGirlLexi. Be yourselves, folks. The world will adjust. And if they don't, fuck them. Have a great day.